Hi, my name is Zoya and today I'm here at Dobara to talk about my experience with moving out. So I moved out of my house when I was 17. So I went to a traveling high school, which meant that I went to 3 different countries for 2 months each, moving to a whole different country. And as soon as I got accustomed to that country, I would just move to another country. So it was a little crazy, but it was amazing. Since I know a lot of you guys are gonna be going to universities, colleges, even high school sometimes, and you might be moving out, I thought this is like a fun little thing to talk about. And I'm also gonna be doing my makeup along with that. So yeah, I'm gonna just start off with a little base. I think a lot of you guys asked me, this was like my biggest question that I was asked when people talked about moving out with me, is that did you ever feel homesick? And I feel so weird telling this to people because I think I skipped a big part of moving out that everyone faced, which was homesickness, because I never felt it. I lived in a city my whole life where there was not much to do. All you pretty much did was that you went to school, you came back. If you had apartment friends or neighborhood friends, you were lucky because there wasn't much to do. We didn't have malls, we didn't have amusement parks. I don't know, we didn't have fun things in our city. So it was just life is monotonous, life is boring. So when I moved out, it had been a whole year of COVID. I'd been stuck in my house. If anything, I was sick of my house. So homesickness wasn't really a part of that. So I didn't feel that. The one thing that came with it was that whenever I felt uncomfortable in a situation, I had a breakdown or something, I didn't know what to do because when I was back home, I had a routine. I would go and lock myself into my room. That was my routine. But when I was out, I had a roommate. I had people around me for a lot of the times, and it was just different because I had to figure those things out. What do I do when I feel uncomfortable around these people? What do I do when I need my own space? Because I don't feel very comfortable with my roommates since I've only known them for 2 weeks so far. But one thing that I was very excited about was freedom. But when I moved out, it was for the first time in my life that I could actually, whenever I felt like going on a walk, I could go on a walk. I could make plans with anyone without having to verify it over and over with my parents. I think that was the biggest, most exciting part about moving out for me. But I think for most people, there's a balance between the two. You kind of feel the excitement, but then you also you miss your parents, you miss your family. And I think siblings play a big role. When people have siblings, they are very attached with your siblings because a lot of times when you don't have an age gap, you're friends, and it's sad to leave your friends behind, your actual friends from home as well. My sibling had moved out years before me. When I was 12, my sibling had already moved out to Mumbai. So I was used to not living with him, and my parents would work all the time, so I would just be home alone. There's a lot of restrictions still on you. Even when you do move out, it's not completely free. In my case, I was living with an actual school when I moved out. But I have had friends that have moved out, and there's landlords. If you're living in a PG situation, there's gonna be the person. You're gonna have wardens if you're living in hostels, and a lot of people, they feel they have this kind of an authority upon you if your parents aren't around. And even if your parents are around, adults in most situations always think that they have an authority over you to police you or just tell you how to live your life, even though they might be not related to you. And it can be so frustrating in situations like these because at one point you're I'm an actual adult. I need to make my own choices, and secondly, I don't know you, excuse me. You have no authority over my life or how I want to live it. I've had occasions like these where one of my friends moved out and she was living in a PG situation, and then her landlord was I see a lot of guys coming over, this is not gonna work. And she's well, this wasn't a term that we discussed in the past. They're my friends, I want to have my friends over. And then they were yeah, girls, not guys, because I'm not comfortable with that. So just things like these where there's gonna be a lot of made up rules all of a sudden when they don't feel comfortable with your way of life. So make sure you discuss this stuff with your landlord, or see if your landlord seems like someone that's really chill. But yeah, even like in these situations, it's very important that you actually do stand up for yourself. Initial freedom with money, it was so crazy. I remember I went literally crazy with shopping for like the really fancy groceries, because I was like, now I am in charge of my own groceries. I'm gonna get like all the Pinteresty cute bottles of jam, and I'm gonna get like really cute yogurt, and I'm gonna be like that girl. I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna drink like all of my healthy juices. I ended up wasting a lot of those groceries, like spoiler alert, that was an actual thing that happened, and I regret it so much. And then I started like realizing that, you know, mom was right. I don't need to buy all of this stuff all the time, and there's a reason that she said it for. So that, like, the first few cans of condensed milk that I got and never went through. Why did I even get condensed milk? I'm pretty sure I didn't even need that. So that was a waste. Even then, that realization when I ran out of money that first month in like October last year, it helped me because I feel like I became more responsible with my spendings. This is like a very new area for me to explore, is because now that I'm older, I need to like actually be more careful about like where my money is going and where I'm spending it. So it's like when you're going out with your friends, like, do you want to be that person who's like, oh, like, I'm gonna do the math and everyone's gonna pay so and so, or do you want to be that person who's like the cool one? It's like, yeah, it's on me guys, like chill. Like, I see the appeal to be both people, but more than to be like the second one, because it's like you become more likable, you're trying to make more friends, probably paying for them is like adding to your likability score or whatever. But it's really not worth it. Like, I think I've done this a few times, and I do this more often when I'm back home, but you really need to set your boundaries, because this again like plays in with like letting people walk all over you and standing up for yourself, because you're gonna find people that first are gonna like take a lot of advantage of you, never gonna pay you back, and second, you're gonna find people who are never gonna want to pay you back, because it's just like you're letting them walk all over you. Why would they want to? I was always the kind of person who doesn't like having conflicts with people. So in some cases, when it was like very obvious that I went out of my way to pay for you because you didn't have your wallet at point A, I want to like remind you once that, yeah, come on dude, like, I paid for you that one time, maybe you can pay me back. But then like when they forget about it, you don't want to like pester them over and over, because you don't want to be like that person who's like always chasing after money. Also important to be that person who always pays people back on time, because you don't know what kind of economic situations or backgrounds people come from, like what amount of money means what to them. Like, you never know that for another person. So it's just good to assume that you should always pay people back on time. And yeah, that was it. That was my experience on moving out. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like this video, make sure to watch Ria's video where she gives advice that all teenagers should know.